Welcome to the Penny Bloom Podcast. Ain't another place that has got more bombast. Romp past your mom, dad's listening to Tomcats, talking everything that make you sad. We don't want that. We're here to make you smile. Put your mind at ease. Peace, love, and bloom, and always praise Keanu Reeves. This what we about. This some weeding now. We'll talk until we can't no more, and then we peacing out. Alright, let's go. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. Hello everybody and welcome in to the comic Bloomiverse. This is the Penny Bloom Podcast and it is I, Colton Robertson. I'm joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
Oh, what up, what up? Always a pleasure to be here, and it's a grand pleasure today.
Oh, man, we had a big day as fans of comic book movies. The DC slate was formally announced today, the next 8 to 10 year plan. This is a part of it. This is a part of Chapter 1. This is not all of it, which I thought was fucking insane. James Gunn sat in front of a camera and told us all about what we can expect over the next few years as far as what DC has in the works. There's a lot of exciting stuff, a lot of confusing stuff, a lot of stuff we need to hash out. So what do you say? What do you say we dig into it?
Oh yeah, I need to talk through it myself because I'm very confused.
There's a little bit of confusion there, but you know, I think it'll be fine. He started the whole video by stating that, you know, they're gonna do their best to maintain a continuity throughout film, television, gaming, and animation, where all the characters will be voiced and played by the same actors and actresses as often as they possibly can, which is a very, very cool idea. The gaming one is kind of interesting to me. I thought that was the boldest thing. To maintain a continuity even through video games feels like that's bold. That, you know, MCU doesn't even do that.
And I don't know if that's their way of saying that like new content will be released on video games. I think it's just like the character that you will play in the video game is the same one that you see on screen. I don't know. I think it's because it'd be wild for them to be like, you have to play this game in order to understand the events of this next coming movie. Like, yeah, no, that's just not possible.
No, and I don't think they'll do that by any means.
But like, it is really, I don't know, that is like, it's not like it is, they're 100% having every voice actor do it. Like, you know, it's just if they can, you know, it's like, so I love how nothing is forced. Nothing is crazy set in stone. It's just like, we want everything to be different. We want everything to be, you know, made just naturally and with the best people. And I think like, apart from all the crazy announcements that we have, like, you don't see Kevin Feige step in front of a camera and tell you the next couple years of Marvel. He gets on a stage and lets you roar whenever he says, Avengers, this movie in part 1 and part, you know, like, it's a big thing that they do. But like, this was just a 5-minute video on Twitter, James Gunn being like, yo, here we go, this is what we're doing. I'm assuming they're going to have a grand reveal eventually. I think it was just super cool.
Because San Diego Comic-Con, the next San Diego Comic-Con, I'm willing to bet the rest of that Chapter 1 gets rolled out, and he will be standing on a stage, and he will go, now look at this.
Oh yeah, I mean, I want him to.
Yeah, of course.
I don't want him. Yeah, I definitely want him to. But it was just, he seems very connected with the fan base, and I don't know, he just is very aware of comics, very aware of just the fans' perception of superheroes and how they view superhero movies and everything.
That's the most encouraging thing for me, is that it's just so evidently clear that he loves comic books and he's making a universe where MCU not faltered. You know, obviously they've done very, very well in making movies for movie fans, people who want to go see movies. People who are comics fans, Marvel comics fans, notoriously aren't giant fans of the MCU. I have a feeling that is not going to be the case for James Gunn and Peter Safran's DCU. I think that's kind of they're making stuff for comic book fans. I mean, the first thing he announces as like something we didn't know was coming. You know, he rattles off Fury of the Gods, The Flash, which will reset the universe, Blue Beetle, and Aquaman 2. And then he's like, and that'll feed directly into Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters, which fucking awesome. I love Gods and Monsters as a title. It's awesome. The first thing is Creature Commandos, an animated series in which all episodes will be already written by James Gunn. He says, I wrote the episodes. Like, I did that. I'm already done.
Which, cool. I mean, it didn't look like is it random characters that we have no idea, or is this just like a way for DC to introduce you to new, because he said people are going to be just moving in and out of this show, that it's going to be like, I don't know. It seemed that it was like,
I think he was more implying that these characters, things that are introduced in animation, are not stuck in animation. These characters will be able to be translated,
moving in and out of John. Okay, through medium, not through. I got you now. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah,
okay.
This one's going to be a very interesting one that I'm really like. There's not a single thing on this list that I'm like, I'm not interested in that.
Yeah, like, you know, oh man. This is a bummer. Wow, this just is gonna suck. No, like, yeah, there's things that I would never have even guessed to be on here at all that I'm like, oh, now that you brought that up, I'm like, I didn't know I wanted that, but now I
really want that. And this is one of them. You know, I love an animated series. I fucking love an animated series, and if I trust James Gunn's writing. You know, I love Guardians. I love the Guardians movies. I loved the Suicide Squad. I love Peacemaker. These are all, like, he has, for me, gone 4 for 4 in comic book movies and shows. This man has not missed. So I rather trust him when it comes to writing comic book shit. And that was a fun one, you know, like seeing the zany, wacky types of characters he was introducing there.
Yeah.
That's a part.
Are these all new completely? Like, have you seen any of these people?
I haven't seen them personally, but these do exist. The Creature Commandos is a comic based entity. This is not a brand new thing. However, when I looked up Creature Commandos, because I haven't read any, I would love to now that this has been announced, which is the premiere thing I'm the most excited about off this announcement, is that I'm about to absolutely tear through books that are about these characters.
Yeah.
The Creature Commandos being a very big one. The Green Lanterns is something I've always wanted to get into and just haven't yet. And now that we're really for sure going to get a television show inspired by True Detective, a insanely good mystery series, like, yo, that is the shit.
He said 2 lanterns for sure, but then there's just others sprinkled in throughout there.
Yeah, the Green Lantern Corps, man.
And yeah, that's a really cool concept. You know, and like crazy that it was not like how big it is in the comics.
What?
Like, yeah, like I have not read DC comics. Like, I've only read a couple Superman, couple Batman. Like, that's not across the universe, but apparently Green Lantern is just like a massive force across the entire universe. Like, they are like a governing body, you know?
They are a intergalactic police force, essentially.
And just, Ryan Reynolds was Green Lantern. We just don't want to talk about it anymore. We'll just, I think we'll just push it away.
Well, that very movie destroyed any chances of Green Lantern getting made into anything for years. Like, that's the reason we haven't seen Green Lantern on screen in fucking forever, you know?
I've never even seen that movie to begin with, so I have no idea why it's even.
We will.
Yeah, I know.
We will sometime this year, in fact. But
yeah.
Lanterns, man. That one that's a top tier one for me. Like, when it comes to the television series, let's go through the TV. Let's go through the TV stuff that he announced. We got Creature Commandos, an animated show coming, Lanterns, and the way he described it, not an HBO Max series, an HBO premiere television series. That's Game of Thrones. That's The Last of Us. That's
Oh,
The
like it is
Sopranos.
coming out Sunday at 8.
Sunday, like that's the type of premiere television that you're talking about when you mention it by name as an
Wow.
HBO premiere TV series.
Okay.
Like you're doing the real thing there, which is the most, like, putting that label on it automatically makes it one of the most exciting things on this slate.
Okay, so the rest of them are on HBO because Warner Brothers is right. Like everything is on HBO.
Yes.
Because is that the only one where he specifically mentioned HBO Premiere?
Yes, that is the only one he
so
specifically mentioned
okay.
that. And then Booster Gold, he expressly stated that it was an HBO Max original series,
Oh.
which is interesting considering that HBO Max and Discovery Plus are going to be merging within the next year. And so I think it's more whatever streaming service exists as a result of that. That's what Booster Gold.
So what's the difference? What's the difference between Paradise Lost, which is just live action TV? Like, what would it be released on?
I think that one's up in the air based off just saying it's a live action series. I think it's like depending on how the production of it goes, it could end up being a straight to streaming sort of thing, or it could end up getting that premiere bump.
I see. So all of them will be released on HBO. It's not like it's going to be released.
You'll have
on...
access. Like it's the way that House of the Dragon, if it premiered on HBO Max at 8 p.m. on HBO, the network at 8 p.m., you had access to it on HBO Max at 8 p.m. You know, like it's the same thing. It's just a matter of whether or not the people who pay for the network are going to be able to watch it on their TV. And
I see.
That adds a different level of prestige drama sort of.
I see. Okay, fair. Okay, I see the difference now.
That's what Paradise Lost seemed to kind of be hinting at, the way he alluded to Game of Thrones and like the Westeros politics and stuff. Like that seems like it could be really cool. That is one thing that I'm a little bit. I'm personally very cool with it because I think they're more than anything else giving Gal Gadot time to decide whether or not she wants to return to the role, because this is a precursor to Wonder Woman. This is not, Wonder Woman wouldn't be in this show. It'd be before Wonder Woman was alive. Like it's the history. It's the history of the Amazons, which is even like people are like, that's the one I've seen the most. Like, I really don't give a shit about this. When I heard that, I went, "Yo,
wait, what?
That's the shit to me. Give me that."
So you know? Not just one of them, but all of them are like that. Like you get what? How is that a bad thing? Like it's.
No, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. It was more that it was the least intriguing. You know, like it was like it wasn't like, oh boo. It was just like, meh, I'm good. You know, like that's more the attitude towards it, especially considering that it is devoid of in such a comics based run of a lineup with huge names in Superman and Batman and small names and Booster Gold and Creature Commandos and stuff. And I know Booster Gold, when it comes to comic fans, y'all love Booster Gold. I ain't gonna fuck with you there. I know he's a big name. But to have a Amazon show that doesn't have Wonder Woman as a comic book fan, which is more where I was seeing it, was the comics Twitter side of things. Yeah, I could see how you might be a little bit like, man, an Amazon show without Wonder Woman. I don't know how I feel about that. I personally don't give a shit.
I guess that is the equivalent of doing a like Krypton without Superman.
They did that.
Like, how bad would that be? Like, if I just saw Jor-El,
there's a show called Krypton.
Oh,
that exists. That show exists.
So it's. I guess it. Okay. Yeah, because you can't really do it with like Batman, Gotham without Batman.
Gotham.
But like it is
too.
But Bruce is in it, and you see him becoming Batman slowly over the like. It's like Bruce is still in it, you know.
Gotcha.
But it's like that is interesting. That is actually, I see where people could go, where they could be like, oh, this is going to be a little boring. But like, it's just
I
without
just
the
think
titular character. I don't know. That's like
there's just a gold mine of mythology I think you could dive into with the Amazons, and in a show called like Paradise Lost. It's called Paradise Island, Themyscira. Paradise Lost, they're gonna lose the island. They have to fight to win it back. Like that's a war show, you know. I think that's gonna be really
ooh,
fucking cool. That automatically sounded really cool to me from a less from a comic book fan standpoint, more from a television fan standpoint. Like that sounds like a show I want to sit down and watch.
mm,
Which is
okay.
more where I was coming from when I was like, "Oh, that sounds dope." And yeah, I love that. Like of this slate, I'm expecting more animation announcements because like I don't see how you like there was one animation announcement here.
I guess if maybe Creature Commandos is just a long running.
Yeah,
It's
maybe
just like it is just the Justice League, but
right.
now it's just Creature Commandos.
Yeah, no, like
Cartoon. I don't know.
I like see that's the thing is that I think that the second set of announcements for chapter 1 will kind of bring us probably at least a couple more animated series. Maybe like the DC animated universe as far as movies is concerned has also been really strong. I'd be interested to see if they eventually dive into that. Like in the continuity, we have animated films. Like you have to see the animated films to understand stuff, which I would love. I
That'd
would
be
love
awesome.
if they poured just a fucking budget on theatrical releasing animated films. I would love that.
Man, couldn't have just been made a couple years before while we had the best voice actor for Batman, though. Like
Yeah,
for animation, that you'd have to
well,
get
that's the
someone
thing
new.
though, is
But
that given the idea here, whoever was playing him in live action in theory would play him
oh, true.
as a
It
voice.
wouldn't be Kevin Conroy. That
Yeah.
is true. Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
Wow. But Waller, I feel like we touched on all the other
didn't touch on
TV
Waller.
shows, but
We
Waller.
got that was the first confirmation of an actor returning from the previous DCEU. Viola Davis returning as Amanda Waller. Kind of unclear whether or not Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad and all that is Elseworlds or if that is in the continuity.
Yeah, I think he said like that she will
She'll be
meet
with the
up.
Peacemaker family, yeah.
So, and he said this was in chapter. I mean, like,
Yeah, it
if
sounds like the Suicide Squad. And like that was the thing for me is that I know people were like, "Oh, he's going to be a big hypocrite." Their shit was never really that connected to anything they had going on, like the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker. You know, like you had Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn, who I frankly think James Gunn fucking loves Harley Quinn. That's one of his favorite DC characters. Margot Robbie is going to remain Harley Quinn. I have little to no, especially now that Viola Davis is confirmed to be Amanda Waller. I think his Suicide Squad characters and his Peacemaker characters, that's set.
That's the thing, is that he's in charge of DC overall now. And while he was making those movies, he made them in the vision of how he would want like his DC universe to be. You know, like that, like it makes perfect sense for those casts to just remain the same. Like he made Peacemaker completely. Like he made that in his vision. Why not use it? You know, it'd be kind of dumb to recast John Cena and all these other people, you know, like just keep it. I don't know. Suicide Squad was good. Birds of Prey was good. And Peacemaker was probably one of the best like comedy superhero TV show. Like it was insane. Like so I don't know. I trust this man with everything.
Well, and especially given that, you know, we're talking about the returning roles and stuff. I know I'm excited for Viola Davis to come back as Amanda Waller. I think that we're probably going to set up yet another Suicide Squad film of some sort with that show or something like that in that vein. But with her coming back, there was also like, you know, questions. Who is coming back? And it was said that Gal Gadot, Jason Momoa, Ezra Miller, and Zachary Levi all have the open door to return to their films. And Peter Safran even went as far as to say that Jason Momoa always envisioned Aquaman as a trilogy. So that's interesting too. That like these were ones that I didn't think were like specifically. I thought Jason Momoa was going to get recast in a different role, and I thought for sure the only person I thought was returning was Jason Momoa. I thought that was it for sure. And it's interesting to go about it that way, to have the door open for certain main continuity things. And, he had a justification for Zachary Levi even, where he says like, he's always been kind of in his own lane. There's not really a lot of interaction with other heroes that's come about, which is absolutely true and absolutely fair.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then like Ezra Miller, their Flash movie resetting the DC universe. How's that work?
It resets it and then Aquaman 2 comes out.
That's what's interesting. I'm like, what the fuck going on there?
But it resets it and then it's Blue Beetle, then Aquaman 2, right?
Yeah.
So it's even like Aquaman 2 is like
all 4 of these are coming this year. Like we're getting all these movies in 2023.
Like I saw like, because there was like the interview with Jason Momoa about like him maybe being Lobo and like how it was so obvious, and then someone was like, I talked with James Gunn about playing a dream character of mine. If you know anything about me, you know exactly what character I'm talking about. Look it up. And then, like he said it like that, and then like he has gone on record many times saying that his favorite comic book character is Lobo. He looks exactly, I don't know. And and I was just of the mind like yeah, okay, cool. So someone else is Aquaman. He might just go to Lobo.
Well, and maybe this is just them being ambiguous so that depending on the reception of these things, they might be able to label Aquaman Elseworlds. They might be able to label these things, like they might be able to just go ahead and slap that fucking label on it and go, yeah, this isn't in our continuity. Because Aquaman 2 is not technically their DCU studios. That is the prior regime that made that movie.
That's true. Okay.
Depending on the reception of that film, they might be able to go, okay, yeah, we're still going to make Aquaman 3. It's just not going to be in our continuity. It's going to be DC Elseworlds.
That's okay. That makes the most sense. Okay, yeah.
That's
just because they announced Aquaman 2 it's not in their continuity. It doesn't mean that. Yeah,
he's got to say stuff about the stuff that's coming out from DC. He is the head of DC. Like he's almost contractually obligated to say things about these movies. And one of the most interesting things is that it seems like everyone who's seen The Flash absolutely fucking loves that movie. I've heard nothing but great things about that movie, which is astonishing given that it's the first Flash film and it has 2 different Batmen and Wonder Woman and Supergirl and all sorts of shit going on in it.
2 different Batman?
It's got Keaton and Affleck.
Keaton is in it?
Yeah.
I had I think I do remember seeing that now. Or hearing something. Oh my god, yeah. I know nothing about like DC really at all. The Flash, like all I know is that it supposedly is about to reset the DC universe.
There's going to be 2 versions. There's going to be like 2 different Ezra Millers in the movie, playing 2 separate versions of the Flash and a Dark Flash, and it's going to have a lot going on. But I've heard nothing but great things about it from people who have seen it. So I'm like, frankly, I didn't want to be, but I'm very excited about that movie. Like as a comic book movie fan, to bring the likes of Keaton's Batman and Affleck's Batman and Wonder Woman and Supergirl and all this, it sounds like a fun fucking movie, even if it's not a masterpiece. I bet I'm going to enjoy it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So that's like still in the Zack Snyder sort of realm, maybe? Is it like...
that sort of vein, I think.
The vision that Bruce, or like when Flash told Bruce, like, oh, am I back? Am I too soon? Or whatever? Like, is that like what they're going? Is that like kind of you think like?
I think that's what I'm thinking they're going to kind of be building off of, is that it's that same Flash who is the main character in this movie. But I do think, however, that again, the ambiguity of these announcements is really important because I really do think they're waiting to see how this year goes before they decide for sure whether or not Ezra Miller, Jason Momoa, because that's the other thing is that if they do go ahead and announce Ezra Miller or Jason Momoa will not be coming back, how's that affect the releases of their movies this year? You know,
Exactly.
how does that affect Zachary Levi's Shazam stuff? Like, it changes the way people are like, well, then I don't give a shit about this movie. If it's not like,
You're right.
which is wrong. You should just go see the movie anyway. It's fucking ridiculous to think, well, if they're not going to be in any more movies, why would I see this one movie? That's fucking stupid. But that would happen, you know, that would happen.
You're definitely spot on. They're definitely leaving the door open. They're making it seem they might have their minds made up already. They might be like, all right, we're releasing these last slates of Zack Snyder, you know, the previous DC world. We're going to call it Elseworlds, you know, already. But we won't say that until Aquaman 2 is out or whatever. I don't, you know, whatever it happens to be. But no, I don't know. I do like that more though. It also gives the actual actor the choice themselves to be like, do I want to spend the next 8-10 years of my life playing this character? Yeah. If they don't want to, I don't want them in there. Like, I'm sorry, Gal Gadot. I'm sorry, Jason Momoa. You were awesome in your role, but if you don't want to spend the next 8 to 10 years as that character again, I'd rather you leave.
Yeah, like, frankly, and personally, I'm not attached to these roles, these characters, these actors in these roles. You know, I love these characters, but frankly, I'm not huge on Gal Gadot as an actress. I think she's all right. I'd be cool losing her. I'm not a giant fan of Ezra Miller's take on the Flash. I think they're really good in Zack Snyder's Justice League. I think that was a fun take. And they did a good job, but again, not attached to them. And I think Jason Momoa is cool as Aquaman, but again, I'd be fine losing him. You know, like it's not like this shit wouldn't be the end of the world for me. And Zachary Levi, I couldn't give less of a shit about Shazam. You know, I think the first movie was fun, but like,
poor Shazam, yeah, the dude kind of got shafted a little bit.
I mean, but he said, like, I just can't fathom. You have a movie coming out in like a month and a half and you go full conspiracy nut on the internet, which is bold. I was like, oh, what a dumbass, man. That's so stupid.
Wait, I have not heard about, what has he done?
Zachary Levi quote tweeted something about Pfizer destroying the world and was like hardcore agree.
Oh, Lord. Okay. Wow. I had no idea.
He recently said something about how he really admires Jordan Peterson because he's a free thinker and he's like a right-wing pundit who hates gay people, Jordan Peterson. Yeah. So it's like, wow, you're saying a lot of shit that makes me really not want to see your movie, man.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. Initial reactions there. I care even less of Shazam. Yeah. I already cared pretty much zero. I care even less. The floor dropped below zero.
Yeah, it's just like all the energy people pushed at Chris Pratt should have been focused at Zachary Levi.
Goddamn, and he's Mario. You know what the fuck is going on?
Kingdom,
Hollywood.
Come.
That's the thing. Hollywood is such a weird place. You have to, like, I had the conversation the other day that, like, you kind of have to be a little insane to be an actor. Like,
1000%.
You are playing a different person. You are going into work completely okay with being a different person and changing putting on a facade, everything. And, like, to method act. Like,
method actors are the most insane people alive.
That's what I'm saying, is that, like, people are like, it's honorable to see an actor like method act. And I'm like, no, it's what got Heath Ledger killed. It's like what got, like, it actually does damage to people.
Dangerous. Like, it's also, like, no disrespect, you know, Daniel Day-Lewis is considered like one of the greatest actors of all time. Hardcore method actor, goes deep into his roles, becomes the person he's going to be. And frankly, I think it takes more talent to not method act.
Yeah. To be a normal human, to be an actor that actually has good values and be a normal human outside of work, is beyond me. Like, if they're like an actual human that has good values that actually I can respect as an actor still, like it makes me respect them even more.
Right.
Because I don't know, it's crazy to me to be an actor. Like I just could never. Like, I don't know. I feel like I couldn't do it. I see why they get paid a lot now,
No, right.
because you
Yeah,
got to be insane.
they're insane, man. They're a crazy slate of people, but yeah, man. But anywho, that's kind of my theory on the returning, is that they're keeping the door open because, they've got movies with these people in them coming out this year. There's a specific wording with Blue Beetle about him being a big part of their DCU. That seems almost guaranteed that Blue Beetle's going to be folded in. I think he's full on board. Like, yeah, fuck yeah. Especially considering Blue Beetle and Booster Gold are homies in the comics. There's a whole comic series called Blue and Gold, which is not the version of Blue Beetle we see in this movie. It's Ted Cord, a different version of Blue Beetle. So, like, it'll be interesting to see how they might eventually fold that in. But with the inclusion of Booster Gold, I think they're almost certainly going to head down that route. There's no way they don't.
I know nothing about Blue Beetle. That is like all new to me.
Yeah. No, dude, it's a super fun character. A couple different versions of the character, like I just said. It is interesting that they're starting with the version of Blue Beetle that they are starting with, because he's not. I don't think he's technically the first Blue Beetle, if I remember correctly.
Wow.
I think the first Blue Beetle is Ted Cord of Cord Industries and stuff, if you ever heard that in DC continuity. But regardless, yeah, tons of great TV. That's what sounds like great TV in Creature Commandos, Waller, Lanterns, Paradise Lost, and Booster Gold. That is 5 television shows that we got told are certainly coming out, and that's not all of it, which is fucking bonkers.
This is just part 1 to chapter 1.
Yeah.
Like, this is like, how long does this span? He said this is 8 to 10 years, but this is just chapter 1? Is this like 3 years total, 5 years total? Like, what is
the thing though, is that, like, does the 8 to 10 years start from 2025 when, like, Superman comes out? Or
is he saying chapter 1 is 8 to 10 years?
Or is the fucking universe 8 to 10? Like, because, I mean, you're looking at all this shit, and frankly, I would be wildly encouraged if everything he's laying out is supposed to take the next 8 to 10 years. As an MCU fan who follows the MCU, this is all the shit they'd put out over the next 3 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Maybe 2.
Yeah, like, this would all come out in 2024 and 2025, and some of it would be disastrous, like, and not disastrous. I'd have fun with it, but some of it wouldn't be good. And I think we're in. If chapter 1 takes 8 to 10 years, fuck yeah, buddy, I am in. Like, I would love that, and I think that's kind of the vibe I'm getting, because the first things we have dates for are 2025, which is like,
oh, okay, yeah.
I think we're in.
The first movie, July 11th, 2025. We only have Waller and Creature Commandos before that, so that could
I wonder if he was listing them off in, like, their idealized release order. That'd be interesting.
I guess I didn't even think about that. I just assumed it was, because he kept saying it would lead into.
True. Yeah. Okay. Then I would probably. He did also say that he has all the episodes for Creature Commandos written. So maybe we could expect that in 2024. That'd be kind of awesome if they could get that rolling here. Rolling here soon.
Because when's Blue Beetle scheduled to come out?
That's like August 2023.
And then Aquaman 2, that has
December.
It actually has a date?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it does.
Maybe we get Creature Commandos and Waller next year.
Yeah, I'm thinking, like, animation takes a while. We are still in January 2023 though. So like, I could see us getting an animated series as early as fucking April 2024, like,
Yeah, maybe the first half of the year is Creature Commandos. The next half is Waller. It leads.
Mm.
Well, I guess you got half of 2025 until Superman.
Yeah, right.
You're in July for Superman,
Yeah, so
so
maybe we could expect Creature Commandos back half of 2024, Waller
mm,
first half of 2025, sort of thing. And
okay.
who knows how much this changes? There's chances that there's part of this that's just like that would be cool. Let's see if we can do that.
Mm,
We're gonna
yeah,
do a
a
we're
lot of
gonna
this.
do a brave yeah we're gonna do a Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow film. Don't know when. We're gonna get to it though. The
A lot of it is.
Authority,
It's
the
probably
Authority movie.
just. Yeah, it's probably just fan. They're just gauging fan reactions right
Mm.
now. If it's good and everyone's like, yeah, they're like, okay, yeah, let's stick with it. But I guarantee they got plan Bs. They got other things that that they had ideas for. They didn't just come up with this list and they're like, yep, all right, we're good. Let's ship it off and
Yep.
give
Call
it
it
to
a
Warner
day.
Brothers.
Yeah,
But
no, I'm sure they got some shit thought out. I'm sure of it. But let's dig into some of the movies then. The first one that is obviously very front of mind for me is Superman Legacy, July 11th, 2025. Described as dealing with his combating ideals from being an alien from another planet and his parentage on Earth, his farm boy sort of thing he's got going on. I'm really like, this is the first time in my entire life where I am truly a Superman fan when a Superman movie is gonna come out.
mm,
You know what I'm saying? Like, I love Superman right now. And like, to the point where I am hard pressed to tell you I don't like him more than other superhero characters. Like, I love this character right now. So getting announced, like, I knew it was coming. It was already leaked, or not leaked. James Gunn straight up said it, like, yeah, I'm going to write a Superman movie. It's going to come out. Like, I've been excited since then, but to have a date, we
that
are
is pretty hype.
two
Yeah,
and a half years. That's it. 2.5 years. It is 2023. Like, that's insane.
damn. And it's gonna be a good one too, probably.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's it's not just a rinky dink Superman movie. This is the first movie that will launch his continuity.
Mm. Mm. This is gonna be. I think this is gonna be a good fucking movie. I have little to no doubt about it. Again, because I trust James Gunn. He's not infallible. There are gripes to be had with a lot of the stuff that he's made, but
Mm,
all in all, I always find his stuff resonant. It's emotionally fulfilling. And while Superman doesn't seem the ideal character for him to write, like, it does seem like a branch off from what
mm.
James Gunn typically does, like Guardians and the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker. Like, those, I can see all those kind of fitting in a similar vein. Superman does seem like whoa, that's weird compared to all that, but I think it's a step. I think it's a good step for him to take, especially kind of, helming that. I don't think he'll direct it. I think he'll write it. Which I'm just more and more excited to see who is attached to these, like, who is going to be Superman and who's going to direct the Superman movie and who's going to do all this. Like, that's what I'm most excited for.
So he will be the executive producer on every single movie.
Yeah,
But like he won't necessarily write.
Saffron production, type
He
shit.
won't necessarily write every movie though.
Yeah, I'd assume he has a heavy hand in a lot of stuff, but he's not necessarily penning
Mm.
every single thing. I wouldn't want him to pen every single thing, because we've actually already got confirmation that a couple of the shows are confirmed to not be written by him. Waller won't be written by him. Lanterns, I don't think, will be written by him. Tom King, who wrote Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, is almost certainly working on the movie adaptation of Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, which is another one that I am just ridiculously excited for.
Yeah, Superman and super. I mean, that's this slate is just, you have the big names that you want. You got Superman, you got Supergirl, you got Batman. I guess the Authority. I don't know if I'm supposed to be super hyped about this or not. Is this like the I don't know. It's not the Justice League, but it feels like it's the next closest thing to them.
It's like it's
But more of a they
kind
think
of
the
a.
world is. He
I'm
said that.
not massively familiar with the Authority,
Mm.
but the only ounce of the Authority that I'm even kind of familiar with is a comic called Superman versus the Authority, which
Oh, oh,
yeah takes place after Kingdom Come. Which there's a whole bunch of there's a lot of continuity with that
oh!
because
And they're more of like anti-hero or like of the villain side, not or are they?
almost I don't have an incredible understanding of the Authority.
Mm,
I don't want to speak on it because I don't know them like that.
okay.
That's why I'm kind of being like, all I know about them is this. The thing that I know is that Superman has faced them before, and I don't know that's because they got deeper and deeper into their because the way James Gunn describes them is they are a group who thinks the world is corrupted and they need
Mm-hmm.
to rid it of that corruption, which sounds a little fascist in my head.
Yeah.
But it could also be that they think the world is fascist and they are opposing fascism. So like that's the other thing is that they could be good guys. I just like that's something that I'm really excited to get into is like the things I don't really know a ton about, but I'm excited to get into are the Authority, Booster Gold, and I'm and the Creature Commandos, and I'm pretty familiar with the Lanterns, but I haven't read nearly enough of them. So that's kind of what I'm gonna get into next. But all that shit sounds super cool, and the Authority, like, if they're going, you know what, that's something we could turn into a movie. Fuck yeah, like that sounds cool. I'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so
Yeah.
that's another goodie, and then obviously the Batman introduction for the new DCU. We're gonna have two Batman franchises running side by side,
Is
which
it
fucks.
is it Batman the Brave and the Bold or just the Brave and the Bold?
I don't know. That's interesting, because
That's insane to not put the name of like that's nuts. Like kind of nuts to not put
the
Batman
name of
in the
the hero.
name. I guess Batman is that well known to where it just doesn't matter because it's the Batman movie. It's called Brave and Bold. That's all you need. But like I don't know. Like it's
Well, that's what's interesting is that like it's been slated to include Damian Wayne, uh, Batman's son, his son born with to the mother Talia al Ghul, and his grandpa is Ra's al Ghul. Um, Damian Wayne is usually like the fourth Robin, which implies that Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, and Tim Drake have all already been Robin and are now Nightwing and Red Hood and anything else they might become. Which is why the specific mentioning in an article, not in that clip, is that it will include the Bat family. They've been left off screen for far too long. That was confirmation that we are going to get. That was basically confirmation for me that we're going to get Nightwing. We're going to get the likes of those characters. I'm hoping for some Batgirl, some Batwoman. I want some Cassandra Cain. I want some good Cassandra Cain. She's so fucking
oh
cool.
my! What if the scrapping of Batgirl? Although we were very sad about it at first, what if it was just like, well, wrong time? Just wait just wait a little bit, and like I don't know, maybe they were just waiting for.
That was actually
I don't know.
another little bit of what Peter Safran spoke on today or yesterday. He said that the choice to scrap it was the right one, and that it probably would have done damage to the brand.
Oh no!
Which
Oh,
my money's on David Zaslav's got a fucking gun to his head and he's saying, tell everybody I made the right decision scrapping that film.
fair enough.
Not for real, like
But
not for real, obviously, but like, yeah, you might lose your job if you don't say I did the right things here. Like, there's no way that movie was that bad, There's just no
The
chance.
thing. It was already made. You already spent the money. So like it had to be bad. Because they would have made money releasing it no matter what. They would have made something, not profit
Well, it was going to
necessarily.
be a straight to streaming HBO Max movie.
Oh. So maybe actually no profit.
Yeah, maybe they wouldn't have made money off of it. That's
Oh
the thing, is
no.
that like
Oh,
yeah,
that's
it's
actually
just
rough.
it's rough.
Okay.
It's rough. But yeah, so that was part of it, is that like, and that's another thing too, is that there are a few great actors and actresses who have been included in the, like Sasha Cal in The Flash. She's playing Supergirl. And I think they're kind of waiting on the reception of her in The Flash to decide whether or not she is in Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, because that wasn't confirmed who Supergirl would be. And that's just good business. That's just smart,
Mm-hmm.
like to.
Oh yeah. Never said anything in stone. The only thing that's I guess set in stone is Superman's coming out July 11th, 2025. Is that the only date we have?
No. The
Oh.
Batman Part 2, October 3rd, 2025.
Wait, as in Matt
Robert
Reeves?
Pattinson, Matt Reeves, the
Ooh,
Batman.
they announced that?
Yes, they did. That is coming October 2025, which means we are getting a Fantastic Four movie, a Superman movie, and a Batman movie all in the year 2025, along with an Avengers movie, as like an afterthought, which is kind of nuts for me.
Gonna be Halloween again. It's gonna be a Halloween movie.
That's the thing, is that the first one was released in like March.
And it took place on Halloween on the opening. Man, what made it? Oh well.
That's what makes me think like they could really. I think the Christmas thing, they might really, really pull that off. If it does like a long run in theaters, like going to see that into November and stuff, like I could see that being a holiday setting sort of thing. But
ooh. Man, okay, I didn't know.
There's also rumors
they put a date out there.
and these are just rumors. Robert Pattinson was spotted arriving in New York City a couple days ago, and the Penguin series filming in New York City is set to start this month.
Start filming this month?
Start filming.
Okay, I was like, whoa, hold on, like start.
Did I miss something?
I'm like, wait a minute. Okay.
It's set to start filming this month. So that's pretty huge too. That could be, I think.
And that's like flooded Gotham.
Yeah, like
Penguin
we are
taking over
straight off the.
So it's like Batman 1.5.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that it makes sense for the Batman to be in that movie, or in that show. Like it would be kind of crazy for him to not show up and do things.
Yeah, he just saves everyone, and then
he's like, "I'm going to take a fucking break, guys."
Yeah, he decides to stay in Gotham, not go with Selina, and then be like, you know what? Actually, I'm just gonna chill in my mansion now. Now that you guys are all flooded. Oh wait, I guess. Well, I guess his is in the city though.
He has that little monologue at the end. There'll be a power grab. Things will get worse before they get better. But yeah, so there's a lot to be excited about, and that's just a couple of the movies: Superman, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, the Batman Part 2, officially Elseworlds. But yeah, man, the Brave and the Bold, that's the one I'm the most excited about. Getting a finally proper Robin. I know they're going to do that right. They're going to do that right.
How old do you think this actor, or not actor, the character in the show will be?
Anywhere from 13 to 16.
I hope so. If it's over 18, I'm going to be mad.
I'm going to be pressed.
I'm going to be mad if it's just, come on. I could see like 18, that's where it's getting too much, I'd say. I don't know. But I want the, like, Teen Titans Robin, the kid, the actual, he's a child still. He's a teenager. Teen Titans Robin. That is the Robin I want.
I'm with you. I want a child. I want a straight up child playing.
It sounds
Robin.
weird. Okay, now that I'm thinking about it, sounds really weird. But
it's fair.
Pushing for it.
But the character has always been, the character is a child. It should be a child actor who plays the brave and the bold version of Damian Wayne. It only makes sense, especially since they're playing on the truly paternal. Like stories with Damian Wayne and Bruce Wayne are fucking awesome. Like that's some of the
I
coolest.
remember like growing up, Teen Titans, like the actual just cartoon, not Teen Titans Go, the one before, just Teen Titans. Robin, that's the guy I looked up to. Robin and Danny Phantom were like, those were like the coolest dudes to
Was
me
the
ever. I'm like, if I could be those guys, I'm set. If I could be Danny Phantom, oh my god, I'm Danny Phantom. If I could be Robin, oh my god, I'm the leader of the Teen Titans, and I have that cool tower, and I freaking can do acrobat, and oh my, he was so cool. And I never really thought of myself being Batman, because I was a kid, and I'm like, I'm looking at Robin, and I'm like, that's, me, that Danny Phantom, a guy in middle school or high school, whatever they're in. Like, that's why that character works well for just children. It's nice to be, I am 22, almost 23 now. Like, it is nice that I get these dark and gritty movies like the new Batman, but I would also like movies for my kids one day to, like and attach to characters.
No, 100%. And speaking of the dark and gritty, how about Swamp Thing?
Yeah.
Get confirmed to have a movie. That was the one when he said Swamp Thing's getting a movie, a horror movie at that. I was like, oh, fuck yeah. I'm all the way in.
Just a horror movie about Swamp Thing. And he's just, okay. And then that's the end of part 1 of chapter 1. Maybe the end of chapter 1. Who knows? Like,
yeah, who knows? Yeah, maybe the chronological release, there's things that are spliced in between these that we haven't even heard about. That sort of thing.
Yeah, maybe it's not even in order really at all.
Yeah, there's just no way to know. But yeah, man, there is so much to look forward to. They basically confirmed that Ta-Nehisi Coates is writing his Black Superman film, which I'm very excited about because Ta-Nehisi Coates is the fucking best. I love Ta-Nehisi Coates. He wrote like one of my favorite runs of Black Panther ever. Wrote some of the best Captain America stories I've ever seen. The fact that he is getting to headline a movie and a Superman movie at that. Fuck yes. Like I love that shit. So I'm all the way in on that. Let's see. Oh, Superman and Lois confirmed to be returning for 1 or 2 more seasons. It's very exciting as well. I love me some Superman and Lois.
Need to watch. I watched the first episode of that and it was so good.
Oh, it's such a good show, man. I love that show.
That's exciting. I don't know. It is nice to see like that they are just keeping some stuff and just some of this stuff will go on. It'll end, eventually.
I just love the idea of James Gunn and Peter Safran sitting down to watch Superman and Lois. They get like 6 episodes deep, and they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna have to let this keep going." They're like,
"Yeah, we can't end this one. Yeah, we can't end this one, guys. Got to keep this one running." I don't know. It's kind of like Daredevil with Marvel. They're like, they were like, ooh, can't really let that one go. Yep, Charlie, get in here. Yep, get in here.
Bring it back.
But I don't know, that's all. I don't know. I really love that it's just we have the main continuity and we have Elseworlds and things are just going to come out and you'll have the main continuity to keep up with if you want and keep up with that, or there's just going to be little treats every now and then, So I don't know. It's just like with Marvel, everything is set in stone. Like this will be coming out right after this. This leads into this, blah, blah, blah. It's very formulaic. Not to say I hate it. I've been loving the Marvel movies. I'm watching Quantumania the second it comes out. They got my money no matter what. So they know what they're doing. But this excites me. Yeah, this excites me more all around.
No, I'm with you.
And Marvel.
I'm 100% with you. And see, my thing is like, is the continuity a bit confusing? Yeah. But I saw a tweet yesterday, and it was from a false scoop that it hasn't been disproven, but there was nothing about it today. That was like, apparently we're getting a JSA prequel, but it's not related to Black Adam, but we will still have Aldous Hodge's Hawkman. This shit is so confusing. And I wanted to quote tweet it and go, "You seem to have a pretty good grasp on it." You know, like, we're getting a JSA prequel. It's not related to Black Adam. Aldous Hodge's Hawkman is returning. That's all you needed to know. You know, like, there's not a, like...
like, focused on the nitty gritty of how it happened in universe, you know, like, sort of thing.
It's like, well, forget about it. If it's not related to Black Adam, it's not related to Black Adam. Like, that's my thing, is that, like, people don't give themselves and other people enough credit as far as media literacy is concerned. I'm 100% certain actors can return and play different versions of their characters, and no one will even fucking blink. You know, like, the general audience doesn't know shit, man. Like, none of them do. I saw a tweet from a Snyder stan who, they've been going fucking nuts today. They're insane. The Snyder cult. That was like, I just can't imagine the disappointment on general audiences' faces whenever they go to the theater and it's not Gal Gadot and Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill and Jason Momoa. The general audience won't give a fuck. You might. The general audience doesn't. Robert Pattinson already proved nobody cares who's playing Batman, or nobody cared that they had another Batman. The movie made like $800 million or something like that. Like,
Don Cheadle from Iron Man 1 to 2. Yeah. Literally, the scene, it puts it in perfect. Like, what he says to Tony when he walks in the room, he's like, "I'm here. Let's just not talk. Let's move on. Fuck it." Yep. Like, literally, like, that's just how it should be. It's like, it's the real world. What you're seeing on screen isn't reality. You know, where they're filming it with real humans that exist in the world we live in. So I'm sorry to break it to you. Yeah. Sorry to break it to you that the DCU and the MCU aren't real. Sorry to break it to you. But also, like, Han Solo, a legacy character, just was a different actor. Younger, obviously, but, like, they didn't try to deep fake or anything. 5 minutes into the movie, I am not thinking in my head, "Oh, I'm pissed that this isn't Harrison Ford deep fake to look younger." Yeah, I'm like, "Oh, that's just Han Solo. And it's being played by this guy now." Like, that's how it works. It's like, you're in the movie.
That's the thing, is that, you know, everyone can feel however they feel. I have no beef, you know. Do feel as you are, whatever the fuck. I'm just saying, be a little bit more open to possibilities, because if you look at this lineup and you go, "This sounds like ass," I don't know how I can help you, man. I don't know how I can help you. I think this sounds so much fun. It's the type of shit the MCU is only just getting to now.
Mm-hmm.
Almost 15 years deep now. It's 2023, started in 2008. 15 years down the line, now we can do shit like Agatha Coven of Chaos and random Ironheart and all these, like, more deep cut characters. This DCU is like, fuck it. We're going to start with the Authority and Creature Commandos and Booster Gold. Like, fuck yeah. I love that. I love that they're just doing it, and that's beautiful. I'm 100% in.
It is also very interesting that Marvel is now taking a step back and looking at their own slate and taking a second look and maybe thinking if what they laid out was the correct thing or not. So, you know, the MCU and, you know, people love, I think, like, Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, those things. Like, those things are very set in stone. They're not going to be like, "Oh, actually, we're doing just one big Avengers movie instead of it being 2 parts." I don't think they change something like that. But I do think that they might be like, this show are gone. Expect them in this movie. Like, I don't know. Like, I expect them to decrease on the amount of things that they have announced. In some way. And I hope it's not the shorts. I hope the shorts stay, and I hope that they just get rid of the TV shows.
God, I love the special presentations. I'm praying that they stick around.
But yeah, that's the thing, is I think that, like, Marvel is looking at their own slate. They wouldn't have looked at it and second guessed if DC wasn't doing this right now, because the
Right.
money is saying otherwise for Disney and Marvel. They don't have to change a fucking thing. They like the money. If you're just looking at numbers, Disney would want Kevin Feige or more, in Disney's brain, the Kevin robot that we saw in She-Hulk. That's what they would want, to pump out as much Marvel shit as they possibly can to get you in the theater, get the money out of you, sign up for Disney Plus. Thank you for your check. Go away. We don't care. Like, that's what Disney wants, and they don't have to change a thing right now. They are making the money. The checks are clearing. But I don't think the checks continue to clear if they continue down the path that they're on. And DC, I think James Gunn has woke up Marvel a little bit, and I think that they're going to have to start really focusing on some quality stuff as well.
I think so,
because this lineup, it seems that everything is well thought out and getting the time that it needs.
It feels like it has care and passion behind it, and I think that individual movies in Marvel, obviously, I think that what Daniel Destin Cretton wanted to do with Shang-Chi and what Chloe Zhao wanted to do with Eternals and with She-Hulk recently, all of these things have very distinctive visions. But even they get bogged down in some sort of formulaic Marvel thing, and I'm praying DC doesn't fall into the same thing, because I don't mind Marvel having become formulaic. That's even because I still like it, I still enjoy it, I have a lot of fun watching it, but I just know that there's an opportunity for more quality, and I think that this is that opportunity. I think here on the DC side of things.
Out of the mouth of the man himself, storytelling is always king. He said that's their main focus. That they want every movie, every show, everything to be unique. Every director to have their time, to shine. Which is, I don't know. They seem to have the right mindset going into it. And I think, a lot of the negative reactions right away are just going to be, oh, wow, well, I can't believe you didn't confirm this actor or confirm this, whatever. But it's like, they're leaving it very open-ended on purpose, business reasons, and just to see for feedback, and just to see how it goes to make it better. Not just for business and money, but to legit make it better.
Improve their storytelling. Yeah.
I think he's got a good head on it. Yeah, I've
got faith.
He's got a good. And who's the other? Peter
Safran.
Who, I don't what has he done? What is he known for? He's a British film. Okay.
He's a producer. He's not really a writer or anything.
Okay. Okay, he's done movies that I've heard of. A lot of horror, though. Conjuring, Annabelle, The Nun. A lot of horror, it looks like this guy does.
It looks like he's produced the most recent DC films in Aquaman and Shazam and the Suicide Squad, Peacemaker. So okay. I think the DC universe is in good hands. I have no doubt. But
why is he so is they're both executive producer, they're both the same position, right?
James Gunn opens that video with "I'm the co-CEO of DCU Studios." They are. But
is Peter Safran just not a online face, show his face sort of guy?
I think it's more. I think again, business. James Gunn is James Gunn. People know who James Gunn is. If Peter Safran popped up in the video without James Gunn, everyone would be like, "I don't." Okay, cool, perfect.
That's true. Yeah, I didn't know if it was just James Gunn is the online persona. He will always be just.
I'm assuming he's kind of the face of the operation, and I'm sure they're they've worked that out. But yeah, man, I don't have much else to say on this. I think we kind of hammered it out. It looks it's a bright future on the DC side of things.
All I know is I'm probably going to be reading a lot more DC comics here
Hey,
soon
man,
rather than
and
Marvel.
that's where it's at.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Marvel, obviously, legendary books. I love Marvel, but man, when it comes to DC books, they've just it's like the slate here. It excites me. It makes me
Mm.
feel things, and I like the way it makes me feel. So DC, man, it's where it's at. But with that, I think we'll conclude this episode of the Comic Bloomiverse here on the Penny Bloom podcast. If you would, head to patreon.com/pennybloom_pod, where you'll find over 50 hours of exclusive content, including a new poll list coming up sometime this week. I'm doing the last 2 weeks, last week's and this week's in one episode, 4 DC books, 4 Marvel books. It'll be nice and symmetrical that way. Head to Twitter, follow at Penny Bloom Pod, follow on Instagram at Penny Bloom Podcast. Remember to leave a 5-star rate and review wherever you are listening, because we've got content on content on content for you. This week we're doing 5 episodes, 5 pods, 5 days over the business week. Same with next week. Tomorrow there will not be a Rebellion's Bloom episode for the Bad Batch. We're going to go ahead and put that off till next week. Kyler couldn't join us, unfortunately, so we're going to go ahead and make Bad Batch episodes 6, 7, and 8 one episode next week, next Wednesday. And this week, we're discussing The Last of Us episodes 1 through 3. That'll be tomorrow. And you can expect the coverage of The Last of Us in 3-episode chunks, 1 through 3, 4 through 6, and 7 through 9. I'm very excited to go through that. Our comic book character draft starts this Thursday now. We had to reschedule some stuff in order to make this 5-day thing work. It wasn't planned. It just worked out that way. And so the comic character draft is on Thursday. That's round 1, the first 11 picks. We got a giant slate of characters for you there, and it's so much fun to do those things. So we appreciate you checking that out. And then Friday, we continue our journey through comic book film, where this week we are discussing Supergirl from 1984. And I'm praying Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow is a better movie than that.
I have high confidence that it will be.
I'm pretty confident that that'll go well. Yeah, man, we got a lot going, and we're only going to have more for you in the weeks to come. So very excited for you, and so glad you could join us. I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me, and thank you for allowing me to get through all this DC confusion, because now I'm much more comfortable on what is coming now. I'm much more understood.
Hey, and we share that DC Universe Infinite stuff. I've been adding books to the library with these characters, so if you want to check that out, you got some built-in reading lists there.
Perfect.
But, yeah. With that, remember, peace, love, and bloom, and storytelling is always king.